This video is a supplement to Lesson 1 of the Basics Correspondence course, and it will show you how to make the right slanting lifted increase, which is used in swatch number 2. Now, in this swatch, we make the increase on a stockinette row after a row of ribbing. And to make it, you work to the location for the increase. And there are two ways you can make this. Some books will tell you, or some sources, that you find the right leg of the stitch below, which is right here, and you lift it, hence its name, onto your needle, so you have the leg of the stitch below and your current stitch on your left needle. You first knit the leg, and then you knit the actual stitch. Now the problem with this method is that it's very easy to stretch out that stitch so that it becomes over large. Another way you can make this increase is, again, work to the location for it, and to find the stitch below, which is right here, and then to kind of move the stitch just a little bit so that you can see the top of the stitch below, which is right here. And if I were to turn this over, that would be the purl bump of that stitch. So I insert my needle into that bump without lifting it onto the needle, and I knit a stitch there, and then I knit the actual stitch. And let's see that again. I work to where I want to make the increase. I find the stitch below. I kind of slide my current stitch a little out of the way so I can see the top of the stitch below, and I knit into that stitch, the stitch below, and then I knit the actual stitch. Let's try it just one more time. I find the stitch, I slide my stitch a little bit, I insert my needle into the top of the stitch below, and I knit the stitch. Now I'm going to purl the next row so we can turn and see what these things look like. And it's really fun watching somebody purl, but hey, that's what it is. And I purl all of these stitches. And it's a hot day in Kentucky, and it's humid, and my yarn and my hands and my needle are all kind of sticking, but we'll get there. Purl to the end, and then when I turn the work, we can look and see what we've got on the other side. Alright, I'll turn that over. Now, if you look at these, you can see here's an increase, here's an increase, here's an increase, and here's an increase. And the one where I lifted that leg is just slightly larger than the other three that I've made. And this isn't a big deal, but if you're trying to make your increases as small and as inconspicuous as possible, it might be worth practicing this just a bit.